Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Utzer. It's the Carcassonne Champions League Qualification 1, Group E. We are in the lower final by now. It's between Czech Republic's majkls and Germany's Leuschi. Both lost in the upper bracket to Stephen Chung TW, both in rather close fashion. And then majkls took the route against Squalus. Also a very close game, especially in the end there. Then rather decisive 2-0 versus Sunny, while Leuschi was also able to beat Squalus in the first round, and again lost against Stephen Chung, and later beat Nopasaki from Finland. And now we are here in the lower final. And the winner again will meet Stephen Chung. So we'll see. This here is Leuschi's rating evolution. Peak rating, haven't checked actually, 630 maybe. He's usually somewhere in the 500s. And therefore, even though Leuschi is a very experienced player, I mean, he plays Carcassonne since early 2000s, I would favor majkls today. He is the freshest master, at least the freshest master from the Czech Republic, as he reached the 700 threshold just earlier today and seems to be in pretty great shape. Also, this year indicates it might not be the end of the road for him, and their play, or his play in this case, I can't say this, was quite convincing, at least in the matches I saw, and I think I even streamed all 4 of their matches. Not 100% sure because I streamed so much. I actually don't remember all of these matches, but well, we could check. But for now, I would hope the tournament which they might have created starts now. This might be it. Let's see. No, this ain't it. Although the start date would work, but there are 0 players registered. So let's see. majkls is online. What about Leuschi? He's online as well and has created a game. So they are going with the default time setting for now, which is regular game slow speed. In the CCL main stage, I think this will revert to 15 minutes per player tournaments. Hoping, of course, that BGA fixes their problems by then, so there won't be any need to switch games to time-based if something doesn't work out. Yeah, now we are just waiting for majkls to join, and then we get going. Well, in the meantime, let me actually check out how bad my memory is. So off screen, I'm just looking at my channel and search for majkls. And sure enough, I covered their game against Stephen Chung, against Squalus, and against Sunny. So yep. Still not there? Why don't you join? It's 2 minutes past. I don't like to talk when there's nothing to talk about. I'm not keen on telling jokes. If there's already someone in the chat, please ask me a possible interesting question I might use to cover some dead air. Looks like the viewers aren't keen on chatting either. So what's up, majkls? Are you there? Still not. Then let's actually check again. I think I didn't mention the exact rating, and it's a 702. Their first try after reaching almost 700 didn't work, but then on the second try they managed to cross this barrier. At least second try for today. I don't know if there was any try earlier. So thanks guys, and welcome. I take the thanks, and if you don't have any questions, I have one. How to spell your nickname? Hi, Globia. If you think of any questions, just keep them coming. So what's up? Hey, yo, here we go. majkls has joined. Oh, it's Amiris21. Then I get the VH. For those who don't know, Amiris is another teammate of me, which, by the way, Leuschi is as well. Nonetheless, I mean, I would, of course, like them winning this match, just because it would improve the situation for, well, all German participants or future participants, as the more players make it out of the qualification from a country, the more likely it'll become to gather more spots for future editions. It's just that I think majkls is for now in better shape and might overall be the better player as well. At least their play did convince me more than Leuschi was able to. Quite frankly, he had a few slip-ups in his games, so we'll see. I hope he turns this around today. So I'm a bit biased. Please hold that. Don't hold that against me. Hold that against me by all means if you want to, but it is what it is. In the end, I usually like the better player to win, and the better player in most cases is the one who makes fewer mistakes and finds better moves throughout all games of a match. Yep, this one for exactly, I don't think is the better move or the best move in this case. Could have gone for this indirect approach, could have even gone for the road monastery. But this 57% set up, 57. Oh man, 75% set up really isn't Leuschi's style. But he might need to risk a bit more today against an opponent that's, at least currently, might just be in better shape. We'll see. For now, Leuschi started a nice city, but yellow got the splitter and immediately connected, but blue reattacked. Doesn't really care whether yellow gets another shot at attacking, and the problem isn't just yellow being able to attack. The problem is also that 4 Doritos with the road are already gone and 2 horses as well. So any road from the right would immediately restrict the connection square for blue to 2 remaining pieces. And even if yellow doesn't get a road to go there, it could become problematic for blue, and oh boy. Now the horses are gone completely. So any road would restrict the connection to 1 piece only and give yellow immediate killing options on their next turn if blue can't defend. Doesn't look good. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he might drop the cow there because there are only 2 left. I think this is a tad imprecise this year with the options of possibly playing against blue's other city or roping this one into this big city as well, with the goal of blocking 3-1 meeples of your opponent, might have been the better option, even if there probably there were better defense options for blue. So if yellow had gone over here, blue could have directly or indirectly protect the connection square. Doesn't matter anymore, as the square is dead. Leuschi will kill yellow city though. So in the end, it's a trade 3 points for Leuschi's city and 8 points for yellow city, +5 for yellow, with equal dead meeples. And this then explains their slight lead on the virtual scoreboard. Yeah, blue separates the roads, leaves this road end without a meeple. Could have actually considered this, but maybe it's just totally okay to be patient and wait for yellow to continue there, or possibly being able to restrict their road. This restriction at least delays the completion of yellow's road by quite a few moves in many cases, as they need either the road Dorito or a straight and then the road end. For now, this still looks good for blue. Sure, they'd like to restrict yellow's other road as well, and of course getting their city meeple back. Meanwhile, yellow snatched a 6-point extender city and opened a new one, quite likely creating a field. Here is the mentioned restriction of yellow's second road. Still 2 daggers in the deck. Not a big problem for now. Their biggest problem actually could be if they would get the dagger and only have the 1 meeple in hand, because in that case they need, in most cases at least, to take this city, and then no meeple in hand, and your opponent might be able to restrict 2 of your meeples for the price of 1 tile, and that's definitely not a situation which you'd enjoy. Yeah, taking 2 points, options to kill this, sure, all fine and dandy, but why not do it a bit more aggressively? I mean, I would have loved this one actually, leaving this monastery square there, hoping to draw one before your opponent gets it. So would have worked out perfectly for blue. Now they just use the 2 monasteries for 2 points and a killed yellow meeple, as of course this was the second road monastery. Yeah, with 2 meeples in hand, yellow of course has no problem taking that city. Now they get another one back after Leuschi tried to kill their meeple as well, indirectly setting up the block with any Dorito or the remaining big city tile. Didn't work out for them. He doesn't care about this city at all, although it could be blocked with any city plus road tile except for the left-handed dagger. So he might finally do something about it, leaving 2 caps to close it immediately, also 1 to snatch a 3-point road. Yeah, that's fine. Also, this here was blue's move. They restricted the road and the city. That's more or less exactly like I sketched earlier. I think I used a regular curve there, right? But yellow rebuilds the monastery, and blue so far scored 4 points with 3 monasteries. Yeah, we'll see. There's the reason they are down 19 points on the scoreboard. As nice as it is to kill 1 meeple of your opponent, but if the price is using 3 monasteries for 4 points, I think that's just way too steep. Wow. Yellow rather recklessly endangering both their meeples here. Again, that's the same situation we had with blue's meeples up top. Any city piece from the left immediately kills both. So yeah, sure, it's 5 points, but I mean, if you only have the 1 meeple in hand, risking 3 more deaths, 2 more deaths, the 3 of your meeples are already dead. I really don't like this move. I really don't. Oh yeah, this one, bone yellow, is pretty nice. There aren't many options for blue to still close this city. Basically, there is only one option for yellow to get the monk liberated, and that's the remaining vanilla cap. And then there's only 1 Dorito left. Else, blue could use a big city tile and another cap, of course. So we'll see how this situation will turn out. It's more likely that yellow will win a mini battle in the end. So I don't see yellow adding the vanilla there, unless they desperately would need the meeple. For now, it doesn't look like it. Blue claimed a 6-point field up top. I think this is a bit too early. Don't think that's necessary for now. Yellow wasn't likely to do the exact same move until later, because they definitely need their last meeple, at least as long as this situation isn't resolved. Yeah, so we'll see that meeple over here, quite likely. This one here, of course, would kill the road meeple. I really need to check the English rules. What are road meeples called in the English rules? Is it really highwayman? That's a shoddy translation, right? Oh, I need to check the rules. But not now. So, as expected, the kill by yellow and also the limitation to the one and only dagger, but at least blue gets one of the caps, which would give yellow meeples back. So he has to decide now whether he should try to go for the kill here or dump the cap on his field. And he chooses his field. By the way, any curve over here, and at least the field would be worth 9 points. And of course, there are still caps to close the one up top. And for now, it looks like Leuschi doesn't need yellow to find blocks like this, but yellow does. Oh, no, it's not that. Sorry. There's still an extender left, and then you could even claim a juicier city, which is rather unlikely to block, actually. Basically, the only blocking move would be getting the cow. Yeah, Leuschi did get the remaining Dorito and set up the vanilla closure of the city, but yellow with a curve in hand killed this immediately, and as more or less predicted, yellow wins this mini battle 8-6. Leuschi down by 13. Frankly, go for it. I mean, it's another out. You have the curve to use here to extend. You still have the dagger. Yeah, and he does. And I think that's quite fine. Gets to protect. I didn't even meant go for it with a meeple, but just set this up. But was there any reason to meeple it in this case? At minus 13? Quite likely not. If you hit it, it's great. If your opponent hits it, you lose. You might have lost anyway if you don't get it, because just getting this dagger doesn't really help. I mean, it scores 3 points, gets you a meeple back. This here could be another 3, but even then you'd still be down minus 7. And both with 1 meeple in hand. No, you with 2 if you don't claim the city. It doesn't make a difference. Well, due to the monasteries, it might have. What we see for now, there are no hopes for any of these two to get a meeple back except for blue city up top, which would be quite devastating for yellow. So now they have to figure out what to do here. The remaining extender is a shielded one. So instead of 3 points there, Leuschi would score 12. That's a plus 9. Plus 3 for his farmer, that's plus 12, which is good enough to overtake majkls on the virtual scoreboard. But he needs this ASAP. And of course, he needs it anyway, but if it happens on Leuschi's last turn, it's just too late, because majkls will be able to score a few points until then. Most prominently, I think he should just set up a secondary field at the bottom, leaving a cap empty. That's really no problem, I think. It's just the 1 in 6 that Leuschi gets a meeple back, and even if he gets one, you at least have the one move to claim this cap. Doesn't work out. Again, no curve for Leuschi to add another city. Also, no easy way to add this here to his field. Only indirectly could this drop up top. Could also just take this one away. Might even be the best move, actually. Just so yellow can't claim quick points, and you delay their chances to overtake you for the hypothetical case of you claiming this one. But now there's a winning move for yellow here. I think it is a winning move. If Leuschi hits the extender, then yellow is guaranteed to connect to Leuschi's field. On 9 points. So extender hits for Leuschi, then it's +2 Leuschi. If majkls connects to Leuschi's 9-point field, it should be +7 on majkls. And there's no way for Leuschi to score 7 points on his last turn. So can extend now, but it doesn't matter. Either majkls connects up top or he gets the extender. And both options should be winning ones. Yeah, not sure what Leuschi is thinking about right now. Oh. They are playing with slow time, so majkls will get the increment of roughly 40 seconds, so really no time trouble at all. Leuschi quite likely counts, even though it doesn't matter how many options there are for majkls to connect up top. What difference does it make? Just extend your field. Can't really do anything else. Maybe he double and triple checks whether he's in the lead. He isn't. Yeah, now it's done anyway. And in the end, majkls even will connect, take another 9 points, and win quite convincingly with +60. Yeah, and then, I mean, if you got 4 monasteries and only score 54 points in the end, you have to ask yourself this year, these 3 actually was that wise of an investment. And well, I made my case for not using them over there. I mean, I get one, yeah, but I don't get the second road monastery, and I also don't see that this year was absolutely necessary, the second monastery. I mean, sure, it killed, but you need score points in this game to win, and 54. I mean, when did someone ever win a Carcassonne game with 54 points? Yes, I know there are cases. I know. But it's so unlikely. So, yeah. Is this why there's a word like overkill? No, not really, right? So let's see if Leuschi this time seizes his chances or overcommits on killing Michael's meeples again. Yeah, more precise with meeple over here, because there are cases where your opponent immediately claims the city and you at least get a compensation road or 2 points even. Yeah, now we'll see what will Leuschi do. Just claim the 4 or take it on the right side with the safe approach, not giving yellow the chance to immediately restrict the road, which is fine. The one on the left would be a tad more aggressive. Yeah, no field side open. Therefore, Leuschi has or should add the cap on his city. No dagger asymmetry, so the things to be considered are the surrounding squares. And in this case, I think this move was totally fine, as in some situations, yellow would have liked to attack from the bottom, and this might have endangered their city. So this at least would be some consolation for blue. Now they will close this here, and they think whether to meeple the road or the field, and they don't claim the road because they already have 2 open roads. Still, if you don't, then your opponent will with a curve. They might not with this dagger, because there is a 4-point option out there. Even if this sets up the loop road, they might still go for it. On the other hand, they could also attack the other road, but I like taking the 4 points. In some cases, you get a crossroad and take 3 versus 3 points. Yeah, Leuschi this time doesn't need to close this immediately, takes care of the hanging 4-point road on the right side. Now yellow attacks this, even though the immediate restriction was quite likely. Also, this here is still very iffy. 2 starting tiles gone. So any field from the right side would limit this to 2 tiles left. Yeah, that's what I talked about. Yellow gets the crossroad, takes 3 points, and overall this exchange netted them 4. Leuschi quite likely will do something over here. Could even go for the direct attack. Yeah, sure. Only 2 left. But if it hits, you're saved over there. In most cases, still the splitters out there to re-attack, of course. A bit safer approach would be this one. Likely meepling, as yellow has enough in hand to claim the city. If you don't, Let's see, and he opted to restrict without adding a meeple of his own. I don't like it, actually. If you go there, meeple this, even extend this, in the end, this might get killed, sure, but then they have a ruin, you have a ruin. If you score 5, they score 8. Who cares? At least you prevented a big city from being closed. You are ahead. So it's no big deal at all. This time he meeples. Yellow can't really defend, or rather shouldn't defend with the twin caps over here. Does the same move. Adds a new city of their own while also closing a small one. Blue also took the first field, which has huge potential due to a lot of open squares. So it would definitely benefit blue in the long run here to restrict this square as well, so that if yellow finds a horse, blue would immediately get an option to kill the city. And then with their meeple majority, be able to defend the field, add more cities there, and just win it with this big feature. So they claim the side field for now, still the chance to unite with their main field. Basically all it needs is a curve and a crossroad, or some other options up top would work as well. Yeah, Michael's thinking now whether to go here. Doesn't, which is definitely okay. Just unifies the roads, lays a few obstacles into blue's farmer's way onto the main field as well. This is definitely way more complicated than this option here. But this situation at the bottom still is up in the air. Blue could still attack or restrict. Yeah, only one meeple in hand for blue, and they just dumped the monastery there, which I actually don't like. You have a road, you have a city cap, both are very likely to be closed when there are still, I don't even know, 15, 20 tiles even. So basically half the deck to get you a meeple deck, then please take the monastery. Just trust in getting a meeple on your next turn. So road and option for blue secondary farmer to join the main field are killed. Also, due to this crossroad here and the way Leuschi took the 6-point field, it's very limited. There are still options for us to go over here with a curve, or ideally a road monastery to expand this maybe all the way over here to incorporate these cities which are just created there. But well, this would ride on you getting the road monastery. Okay, yellow equalizes the city here. Doesn't wait for anyone to get an attacking piece to claim a bigger city with a triple city tile, which is fine for now, but yellow is down -17. So they need to score some points sooner or later. At least they have the meeple majority, even if it's, well, temporary. Although they are likely to still have this one later, as blue has 2 farmers in play versus yellow city meeple. Yep, yellow with the first monastery, or healthy 6, now 7 points. Blue builds up their field. Would have loved to close the city immediately and drop an insurance farmer. But there's this huge roadblock in the way. What city used by yellow to delay blue city completion by at least 2 moves? So, horse for yellow, what will it be for blue? Will they get their chance to immediately kill? They don't. Will they now claim monastery or just waste it somewhere, as we've witnessed in the first game? That's the question. Would be totally fine to claim this. Yes, it sets up a nice monastery square for your opponent. But you still have the 1 meeple in hand. You have 7 road ends even to get your meeple back, even though you might use the road monasteries elsewhere. Yeah, and therefore he just setups. He just sets up. This should be correct English. Sets up this attacking square against yellow's big city and most menacing feature. Yellow claims a field at the bottom, and blue, will they at least prevent yellow from running away with the city on their own, which this extender would almost ensure, as there's no splitter left. They don't. They hope still to close this rather unwieldy city project up top. I don't like this straight at all. If you go there, add a farmer. So if blue gets one of the 3 pieces that fills it there, that still fit there, then at least it would be at the cost of giving yellow access to their 12-point field. Else, just wait. Be patient. Wait for a curve or anything with a field side over here to restrict the city to 1 tile. They still need 3 caps, so it's unlikely that they'll draw 3 in a row. Yeah, Leuschi should close the city up top. And now we'll see what yellow will do. Will they play against Leuschi's city by dumping the cow there? Or will they ensure that this here can't be killed with any Dorito from the right side, which would be the case, as this is the last cow. So ideally, you would love to set this up, but this doesn't work. So let's see. I would say they will execute this move, because as of now, blue didn't attack the city. And even if blue would, then at least you would have one immediate killing tile available, as the remaining horse is the last big city tile in the deck. And also adding the cow over here, of course, could immediately endanger your monasteries. Okay, yellow opts for their city. Yeah, blue should close on the left side with 2 meeples. Could have even claimed this road. There's this nice 6-point road setup available. Also a loop road. Was it likely to be restricted by yellow? I don't think so, because quite frankly, with all the city plus road pieces which they could use, for one, they'd give value to blue, at least for some specific tiles. In this case, for example, the dagger or the rose. And also they might need them for their city. Yeah, Leuschi claims this one. And it's not outlandish to claim the field as well, just in case your opponent gets the monastery. You'd have the insurance farmer already there. Now you don't, and yellow is, well, very likely to go for the field at the top. Might even go here and put all their eggs into one basket, going all in on the regular monastery, for example. Although it's not an all-in on the regular monastery, there would also be this option. They claim this here. And frankly, why not this move by Leuschi now? Curves to unite to the top field, options to unite or connect at the bottom as well. A more direct approach would be this one. I don't think he needs to play against the city, actually, if he holds the top field. But I might be wrong there, because if yellow gets another monastery and the city, they should be on the road to a more or less tied game. Yeah, yellow did what they had to do. 50-50 setup. So the last horse definitely is very critical for their winning chances. The best news for blue, though, is even if the horse hits, then at least both your farmers are scoring 6 points in total, that is. So 3 points each, of course. And now Leuschi executed the field insurance move or field attack. The horse hit for yellow, but it's still Leuschi at +20. So all hopes riding on this field. Yellow needs to tie this. Quite likely also needs a monastery here, or she can't do anything about this now. Due to him drawing the starting tile, this here is dead, so there's no connection over here. There is still a ninja up top. He takes care of this. Also adds at least one immediate blocking option to his arsenal, which would be the rose. Other options for yellow, of course, are still in the deck. Basically, I could even go for something like this here, hoping to draw the remaining road monastery or the remaining straight to connect. Yeah, still some moves to be played here, so I wouldn't go for this right now. Yeah, just connect up top, but definitely meeple this one. I mean, you still have 2 meeples. Yeah, sure, you need one for this monastery and you need one for the field attack, but if you're down, leaving a 4-point road to be claimed, quite likely by your opponent, I don't think that's the move. Leuschi severely killed yellow's monasteries. This was the last regular one, and also sets up the connection through this square with the remaining road monastery or straight. Looks like yellow is thinking about this one right now. They go for it. Yeah, sure. Why not? So a straight to get both onto the main field. And of course, this straight would profit yellow much more than blue. One point to the monastery. And secondly, once yellow's farmer connects here, blue's farmer connects here, they'd lose the 3 points for this city. So with the straight, yellow actually would take the lead in this game. Blue kills this one, so there is only the straight left for yellow. There's no other option to unite these 2 farmers on one field, but blue still has 2 curves left to connect over there. And if it's late in the game, and it's actually, so very late, penultimate tile late, they of course would snatch this road and might even be able to win the game just by getting this 9-point road in the end. Also, there is another option for blue to still expand their bottom field here, with the downside of possibly opening up that field for a yellow connection. So not a move taken lightly. This will definitely depend on what's still in the deck. There's this Dorito here though, which would be a no-brainer actually. But everything else there would need to be used with caution. But let's take a look at Michael's dagger. What should he do actually? Well, if in doubt, just add it to your city. Maybe even set this loop road up as you are more likely to claim this, due to blue needing the curve up top anyway. Nah, I don't think that's necessary. If blue gets one of the twin caps, yeah, sure, they could score 1 point. But the problem is, if you now get one of the curves, you can't claim the 4 points, nor this road. And if you'd happen to get the straight, you couldn't claim these 3 points. So I think just leave this empty, keep the meeple in hand. There are also this 4-point road. So basically, all tiles except for the Dorito are quick point tiles, at least for yellow. And therefore, I really don't like this meeple. And it might be the one thing in the end that did yellow in. So blue will kill this now. I'm pretty sure about that. And then it's game over, because there is no way yellow will get any meeple back. And this here is just the kill. Let's see if blue finds that move. I hope so. I mean, it's rather easy to figure out. They should know that Doritos and horses are gone by now, and the rest is just exercising due diligence, and it works out. Yellow's meeple is killed. All other yellow meeples are dead anyway, and therefore Leuschi will take this second game down. Doesn't matter whether majkls would connect here to claim basically this city to unite to, I don't know, I'm lacking words right now, or this one, doesn't matter. Leuschi can just take 4 points on the left. This is the last cap in the deck, and it's over. Yeah, and for good measure, quite likely he'll just unite there, claim the road. So this score in the end doesn't really fit what happened in the game. That's Carcassonne sometimes. Someone might just get the necessary tiles to run up the score in the end. This time it was Leuschi. More than double the score of the first game. Pretty nice, I hope. His confidence is okay, and it should be. Except for this farmer here, which I think might have been a bit premature. Overall, this looked quite sound. So let's see. I mean, majkls is a master as of now. He should definitely be able to not be affected too much by a lost game. Yeah, so who cares if another player made the same action at the same time? It should be possible to open a table as viewer any time. So majkls, starting player in this one. Hi, Matt. The last dagger, you mean the one which yellow meepled in the southwest? Oh, we can check later. That's for sure. Yeah. Definitely have time to cover that one. I just need to think of it. So what did I want to say? Well, majkls is a starting player, and so far the starting player won both games. Okay. Yeah, we'll take a look later. And for now, it's looking equalish. But it swings, of course. Once one hits a city cap, you take a 3-1. That's always great, especially if you were able to score 2 points earlier while setting this one up. At least Leuschi is able to cash in on his road setup, and yellow gets one extender when they don't have an open city cap, so blue should rejoice. And it's not even trivial as to where to place this extender now. So basically, these options are right out of the window as they would endanger your city. Dumping it over here might be totally fine. 2 roses are gone. Could also go here, but in that case, if blue gets a splitter and might leave you with a city set up like this, this would be quite annoying. And therefore, just dumps the extender on the left. Let's see. If Leuschi is hyper aggressive, he'd go for this blue prote and maybe then take the city later. There's really it's not a good idea to take this. So if he wants to play it safe, he would take a loop like this, I guess. Just restricting options to claim the city. As I said, that's not the move. I'm pretty sure yellow will claim this now. They don't need to care about their road for now. There are still 3 starting tiles left, so any block doesn't really matter for now. Yeah, now what to do, blue? You claim your road or do you restrict yellow city? Well, 1 dagger is gone, so this here is the natural move. Also, you might get a bit of love from the deck. For example, a right-handed dagger like this would be a good option. Okay, not when there's this one available though. Monastery for yellow, quite likely over here. Maybe there even. Yeah, actually, I like this. It takes away a few easy options for blue. So if blue were to use a road Dorito over here, you could restrict them to the starting tile. Also, if blue tries to do anything against your road, at least your monastery would profit, even only a little bit, but still. Blue closes the road, sets up more options to harass yellow city on the right. They quite likely will defend. There are more city caps with straight or straight-ish tiles out there than daggers. Again, one left-handed dagger is gone. So it's not unlikely that they might defend, but the other option would be, for example, to protect the road indirectly, would definitely be my preference. Else you might endanger road and monastery. So this here would be okay. And then last, leaving the city as is for now. Blue would need to invest a piece to execute the restriction, and even then you might still have 2 daggers left. And if blue invests a meeple and a juicy city cap to attack your city, that's also not really a big problem. For now, it would at least be a winning mini battle for yellow. And in some cases, like the one we got here, blue can't really do anything about your city except limiting it to the aforementioned 4 city caps, so 3 starting tiles, 1 rose, which doesn't do a lot, and therefore doing something else, pressuring yellow's road, but actually it's annoying with this indirect continuation. Also, this improves another monastery square for yellow. Maybe just go for this. But this takes away options for your attack as well, so definitely not great. Yellow will defend either this square or their city. I might just opt for this one. There are still 4 Doritos out there, and this would only leave this option for blue to still attack it. And you might be able to defend this. In this case, that's always an okay way, or rather a good setup to be defended, because you have the option to go for a road Dorito or get a road plus city piece to hope for the remaining horse. That's in most cases definitely better than being limited to one configuration. Not sure if this would be limited by blue to a dagger, well, let's say with a cow, and you didn't do anything about your city, and this would also be limited to a dagger. That would be the worst case. So you have to protect one or the other. They decide to take care of the road, which I don't think was the higher priority. In the end, blue could just claim the road. If they happen to get road tile, that is, of course. Okay, yellow takes this for 3 points, 1 for the monastery, and also tries to restrict blue city more than it already is. Blue should defend there and just claim the 2 points. They can go for this one here later, even though this is a good option, trying to go for the kill. again, due to many straights still in the deck, which can't be used for yellow to directly defend. They would need to settle for an indirect defense like this. Okay. Field? Really? I think this is a misclick. I mean, Leuschi loves early fields, but this one? No, this is a misclick. And a terrible one at that. Yep, supplies the road end to yellow, so that's definitely a misclick. And yeah, that's the trouble. I mean, there is the option to, let me show, enable the figure placement confirmation, which I wouldn't use, but to enable the tooltips, which helps sometimes as, yeah, okay, misclick confirmed by Leuschi, but it doesn't help. There is the option to enable the tooltips. So if you hover over these little squares to place a meeple, you could wait for a second for the tooltip to appear and only then click. So you'd be safe or safer because you could still slip with the mouse maybe. Yeah, that's tough. That's really tough. Yellow protects the monastery. Yeah, they could have gone for the road monastery as well. Why not? But I don't think they perceive this to be necessary. They are ahead by a lot. This here more or less adds a dead meeple to blue, or is a blue meeple for a dead meeple for blue, even though this field could expand, but still these 3 points alone. Yeah, just a shame. Also now the city gets limited with the worst tile that yellow could use for this, of course. Exactly the dagger Blunitia. So there are now only 2 left in the deck. And yellow threatens to close this one. Or she could even consider options like this here, limiting the city to the same dagger. And actually, in this case, I would have liked yellow to just continue the city on the left. Okay, they get their left-handed dagger to close this city. Are up by 19. Threat over here, threat there. And basically, blue has nothing. Sure, might be able to get this one if it hits soon, and they could snatch a loop road, also a possible field there. This could be very profitable. But is this enough to close the scoreboard gap? Doesn't look like it. And yellow has all their ducks in a row. Even the city setup here is quite okay. Again, 2 daggers left. So if they hit one, the rest for them should be smooth sailing. What else is there for Leuschi? Possibly monastery stacking over here, maybe. Yeah, this here actually looks really good. So road monastery there, expanding your field all the way to the right side, possibly lowering an insurance farmer, adding more caps. Yeah, this could be a way to still win this one. For now, they get the left-handed dagger, which can't attack this city. At this point, with the score as it is, it doesn't make any sense to use it just to restrict Yellow City. You, of course, hope to do this with a less usable tile, and also you'd rather attack this. For now, Leuschi has to close this one here and take the loop road. He has to score all the points he can get his hands on. And why do you leave this road there? Even if Yellow might need a curve for the monastery, there are still a lot of curves out there, and there are road Doritos to claim this loop as well. And if you don't claim this now, if you do later, well, you give away a 9-point, possibly 12-point field to your opponent. Damn it. Leuschi has to claim the field now and has to attack the city as well. Yeah, and he goes for the city attack while Yellow, for one, took away the option to extend a possible blue field with the road monastery up top, which is definitely a great use of this cow. And now should just take the field. Yeah, it takes also a few options away from blue to immediately attack this one or immediately connect after the attack. Yeah, 3 points for blue. You have more meeples. You are the side who could execute this attack, take over the city with one of the 3 triple cities still remaining. Yeah, you have to risk more. That's it. And of course, blue needs to draw the remaining dagger as well if they want to have any shot at winning this game. Yeah, okay-ish, but why not the other way around? When there's still a splitter left, why not go for this one? Sure, you'd give your opponent 4 instead of 3 pieces to connect, but the one, did I say dagger? The one splitter would definitely worth quite a bit here for me. So why not? Having the chance to draw 1 versus 4 your opponent instead of 0 versus 3 is definitely better. So I don't like this one. Yellow takes away the best regular monastery square on the board. Yeah, sure, with only 1 meeple in hand. What else should you do? What's the reason for claiming this over here? It's unlikelier that your opponent will attack, right? Yeah, it is, but is this worth it when they could block? Or rather restrict? There are still 3 starting tiles left, even this late in the game. Yeah, yellow claims the second road Dorito, so now there is only the horse left for blue. Tile the city on the left side, which at least would score them these 2 plus an additional 3 points. Might be necessary. Of course, drawing the remaining 2 curves would be great for blue as well, due to yellow's monastery still needing one, and of course blue loving to get one to connect to yellow's field. Looks like majkls might even be considering this move, which they shouldn't do. What else is there for them? If you try to kill this square, you could accidentally set up an option for Leuschi to connect with a second farmer over here. So if you want to go there, then you'd have to do it like this. So he in the end just dumps this over there, which I don't like actually. I mean, there's still a splitter out there, so Leuschi could still attack the city up top and close this with 2 perfect tiles on their next 2 moves, even if now they are likelier to go for their city at the bottom. Leuschi even goes for the kill here. Yeah, sure, with a straight when there's not a lot of use else there. So one move worse would have been to try and protect your city, but this actually would set up immediate killing options for your opponent. So good on Leuschi not to try this. Now he kills the city. So dagger ain't critical anymore. And now I think majkls. Okay, I would have put them on this move for sure. I mean, in that case, Leuschi needs a starting tile and 2 more caps to close the city. And even if he gets the starting tile, once he would add something over here or there, it would give back immediate attacking or restriction options. Taking 2 points though, yeah, sure. Why not? This square now is dead. No road Dorito left, no horse left. Another monastery in blue's hands. Setting up better options to attack the field from the city cap. Also setting up Hail Marys like this one here. Yeah, not really the greatest of pieces for Leuschi. He might even indirectly extend his side of the ruin now. There are still big city tiles out there with which he could then claim this bigger one and win the mini battle against yellow's part there. I would refrain from taking this one. Okay. This is a setup. There are still Doritos and a splitter left in the deck. Let's see what yellow does with this move. I think I know what they will do. And it isn't claiming the city. Even though they could consider this with 3 pieces to immediately close it. But with 14 tiles still in the deck after their move, it's just too unlikely to be successful. And they missed an immediate kill, which does surprise me. This here would have immediately killed Blue City. And this, therefore, to me at least, is a clear-cut mistake. For now, it didn't matter. But if Leuschi closes the city, adds a farmer, and in the end takes over this field, now this one move might hurt yellow quite a lot. Again, Leuschi with the monastery. Well, he could set up an option to attack the field from the left side. He just dumps this. Yeah, at least he takes away splitter to close this one. So if yellow takes this cap for 4 plus right now 3 additional points to their field, at least there would be this 8-point city setup. Let's see if yellow goes for volatility or just refrains from this move and rather tries to do something about Blue City at the bottom. At least this here means that any option for Leuschi to go for the top city out of the window. Yeah, take the city and restrict yourself to a 50-50. Or take this city and pray that your opponent, for example, doesn't have a cow in hand. More devastating would have been a starting tile that would have killed Blue City completely. So now Leuschi needs to draw. Why can't I complete sentences like a normal person? Leuschi needs to draw the Dorito and claim the 6-point field here. And he needs it now. And he also still needs curves to connect there, and quite likely another way into this main field to take it over from yellow. Yeah, Leuschi with a dagger. This doesn't help his case. So you have two options basically. Either defend indirectly like this, leaving straight and road monastery to kill. And well, the road monastery to defend if your opponent doesn't get it, or the straight to kill immediately. The other option would be, of course, this one. In that case, there would be two curves, so at least you would prevent yellow liberating their monastery. And because you need the curve no, you need the curve anyway. Why not go for this one? Instead, he goes for a city which needs the exact same tile that this one needs. Oh man. How do you intend to win this game? You are at -20, -14 now with this move here. Oh no, sorry, -11. I missed the third city. Sure, this city, the remaining Dorito is with a shield, so it'll score 12 points. That's +9. But really? Is this better than the defense? Leuschi has 2 moves left, so he needs to draw the Dorito and quite likely the road monasteries to score max points. But does this work? He's at -11, so the city would score 9. The road monastery could score... No, it doesn't even need to be the road monastery, as this road here is worth 6 points. Yellow blocks anyone from taking this road, which actually was the right move here. So Leuschi needs to get the curve to prevent yellow from executing this devastating move. Although this move now isn't as strong anymore, it would score 5 points for yellow. But 5 points might just be enough, because blue doesn't have any shot at scoring 7 with the road monastery, right? 6 over here is the max I see. Yeah, yellow sets up a 5-point road on the left, which Leuschi could claim now, but then the monastery will go to yellow for 6 points and the win in this game. Yeah, and looky here. The second curve for Leuschi. This one would have worked like a charm. Even without the defense? Or not? No, not, of course. Majkls got the... darting tile immediately afterwards to kill this. Sorry. Yeah, right. So Stephen mentions the cow, which yellow could have used over here for 6. Which actually would have been enough, right? Yeah. So instead of this move, they could have just claimed 6-point field up top. Yeah, in the end, this here. Leuschi needed to get the curves anyway, limiting the killing pieces to these 2 curves, just hoping, banking on getting the Dorito before your opponent gets a curve, or just draw both curves and the Dorito. Would have been his winning shot, and I think it was way more likely than being successful with this setup. Yeah, a shame. In the end, he'll figure out that 5-pointer over here is his best move. majkls takes 6 points there, and in the end will win with a 3-point difference. Yeah, that's a sad ending for all German fans, at least. And in this case, for yours truly as well, because I definitely would have liked Leuschi to win this one. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So there was Matt's suggestion from earlier from the second game. And then, of course, there is the third game, the end game, to check again. So one thing before I start this, let's take a look. So congratulations to majkls. We'll meet Stephen Chung again. Good luck to both. I hope they'll find a date and post it on Carcassonne.gg pretty early, so I have a chance to stream this one as well. And now let's take a look at the dagger Matt mentioned earlier. So it should be this one, right? Oh yeah. Yeah, you are absolutely right, Matt. They are down -5, and they could have connected to blue's field. The problem though is this 6-pointer in the making, and with 3 caps out of 9 tiles. Ooh, tricky. Giving your opponent a 1 in 3 chance to claim a 6-point city. Oh, well, it's definitely a tough decision. At this point in time, yellow still had the straight to claim this road and connect, in this case, both a blue and a yellow meeple. to the field. But as I had calculated earlier, 1 point to the monastery, 3 points for the road, another 3 points due to blue not scoring this city anymore. This here would be a 7-point move for yellow, as long as they have a meeple in hand. So it's a 50-50 for this move, and this here actually has its merits and would be an alternative winning route. But in a case where your opponent then has still 2 other different pieces to connect to the field, frankly, I can't compute which option is better. Definitely this one here was better than meepling the city. That I'm sure of, but I'm not sure whether just connecting here, but leaving this city there empty might have been better. I mean, sure, yellow could have claimed this. Was the restriction likely? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Matt says he feels that yellow had to risk leaving it empty. If we are talking about the southwest option, that's for sure. I'm 100% with you there. If we are talking about the possible 6-point Dorito city on top right, that's a bit of a different case. I mean, there's one killing piece that's the same blue used at the bottom, coincidentally. But it's not likely for blue to hit it immediately. But there are still curves which aren't useful for blue anymore to connect here once this field is unified. So they would use it to restrict yellow city to a 50-50 in the same rows. Also, the rows would be enough for blue. No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't actually be. If yellow takes this and blue takes this one, then yellow would score 2, blue, whoops, wrong button. Well, blue 1. So the difference would shrink to 4 points. And these 3 as well. So the difference would only be 1 point in blue's favor. And if yellow then hits the straight, yellow would take the lead with +2. So it's not an easy move to pull the trigger on, even if you still have a chance to, for example, add 3 more points with this city. Yellow could also then connect to blue's field over here, gaining 3 points. So wow, that's tricky. Really tricky. So doesn't, well, ignore me. Ignore the shit I've talked. Well, blue, of course, would just kill this, which I said earlier. Why? Oh, damn it. So restrictions like this, yeah, very likely. Leaving this empty, I don't know. I don't have a, I don't, not with a 1 in 3 chance of your opponent claiming this and quite likely winning the game just by this move alone, because it looks like if blue would claim this city, well, they would be up +8, and then basically your only winning chance, let's give them the blue 6 points here. Therefore, blue would be, yellow is at 102 and blue has 110. So blue is up at +8. And how do you intend to score 8 additional points? Well, the cap, sure. There's still a monastery. There might be, oh yeah, there are quick points free over here with the road, for example, over there as well. Over 4 over here. Yeah, it could work out, but in the end, yellow might be forced to attack the field and hope to hit the unification as well, which is a problem as they need road pieces to connect to the field as well. Sure, there are still a lot in the deck, but it's tough. It's really tough to pull the trigger on a move like this here, when you know that it could decide the game, and it's more likely to decide the game in your opponent's favor. Yeah, so I might have just banked on the 50-50 and tried to set up these quick point options. Again, yeah, blue was more likely to use a curve over here to take over the field. So this is your setup also. This cap is on your field. Would score 7 points. Yeah, I quite likely would have gone for this move, even though this here seems legit as well. It's just well, it's the downside of this one here. But let's actually check this. How likely is it? A simple one should be enough. So there were 9 tiles left, right? And 3 caps still in the deck. So let's check. Yeah, basically 60-40 for blue. Does this change anything though? Sorry, I can't answer this one. That's another move for a bigger simulation. So again, still on my to-do list, but still down more or less at the bottom. So let's then take a look at the end game of the third one. Or I could leave this one over here. We will need the permutation calculator, definitely. So basically the question is, should Leuschi have defended his city there this late? Oh, they used quite a lot of meeples then. Actually, I don't trust the score. Sometimes it just needs one move to refresh. So let's skip one and then take a look. Now it's the same. So Leuschi is at -23. Okay, he needs the curve, that's for sure, to prevent yellow from getting a meeple back and scoring additional 5 points. So this curve would gain Leuschi 6 points. So we'd be at -17. Closing the city. Let's switch to the view with shields. This is a shielded one. Closing the city, which is at 5 points and would score 14 in the end. Would be 9-point move. plus this field, of course. So that's a 15-point move. So 6 plus 15 is usually 21, and 21 is almost a tie. So to me, this still looks like this move would have been it for Leuschi. It's debatable whether it's okay to leave the cap in the open, because there is only this one left. But if you leave it open, it's another flip you need to win. So it's not just the Dorito, but the starting tile as well. So do you really need the second meeple? Well, you might, as there's still a monastery left. And you might need to attack the field, or in some cases, this might even be the best move. So let's figure out how likely it was for Leuschi to get the Dorito before yellow would get any curves. So we have these 7 pieces left. The specific pieces we care about is the Dorito and 2 curves. A in this case is yellow as state, B the next player to draw. So B needs to draw the Dorito before A gets one of the curves. And let's check if this works for now. And it does. The other option would be B drawing both curves, of course. So this then would be a 30% likelihood. No, that's wrong. Actually, that's wrong. So we need to account for this case and separately for B to draw. No, that's wrong. Let me think for a moment. So blue definitely needs to draw the Dorito, right? There's no shot if they don't get it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. Even if they manage to take this field over, they'd gain 15 points. It could become close, but I think it's way more unlikely than getting the Dorito. So let's just take care about this of this Dorito. So blue needs to get the Dorito before yellow hits one of the curves, or blue just needs to get the Dorito and both curves. This should be, doesn't change anything. That's wrong. That's for sure wrong, because it's the same percentage. That can't be true. Let's think about this again. Okay, it still needs some love. Let's see. Yeah, here we have that's weird. So these are the permutations. And actually they should be unique, which they aren't. Let me refresh again. And still try to figure this out. Nah, okay, then I have to debug again because this here doesn't look like the output I would like to get. Let's run the simulation. Yeah, okay, this here gives the unique permutations. That at least is correct. So I just need to fix the simulation. Let's see. So these here are yellows moves and the 3 in between are blues. And there is one. Oh yeah, it is correct. It is correct. And it's as simple as yellow only has 3 moves left. Blue only has 3 moves left after their dagger move because there are only 7 tiles and majkls is the starting player. So the only permutation, the only kind of permutations, plural, where blue gets both curves before the Dorito is exactly this one. And of course, they could draw the Dorito in this position, like over here, or in the mid position as well, like this one. But there are just these 3 permutations where, well, again, set of permutations where blue gets all these 3 tiles, and it doesn't really matter for them when to draw the curves, but they get it and yellow can't, and therefore the likelihood of blue being successful with this seems to be exactly right at 18.1, I think it was. Yeah, the calculation is more precise, so 18.1% would have been the chance of Leuschi being successful with this one here, just for closing the city and being able to take the field. It doesn't mean that he would win the game in 18.1% of the cases, as there are of course at least some other things to be considered. For example, this city cap here. So let's say maybe he had exactly this rough 18% chance to win the game. It still is an 18% chance to win the game. Is it more likely to win the game with this setup? I don't think so. Again, you need the curves, so 6 points over here for the connection. You get the Dorito to score 9 points. That's 15. But yellow might score in the meantime with the road monastery, for example. They could still get a curve. Or they might just outscore you in the end, because even after these 2 moves, you'd be still down by 8 points. It's tough. It's tough. It might even be the better move here. Let's just again one of these situations where we need a simulator, quite frankly. Simulator to go through all permutations and, well, do the best move. So if it's an AI or a good set of algorithms, I don't care, but definitely it's more than I can compute, even with way more time on my hands. But my gut says I would have gone for this here. This looked a tad likelier, but I might be wrong. In the end, it was close nonetheless. So let's take a look at Leuschi a chance. I mean, he more or less hit a great permutation here. Yellow had to waste his cap. I mean, there wasn't really anything better to do with it at this point, but sure. So here is the move which Stephen Chang suggested earlier. So this would have been 6 points for yellow or a 17-point spread, which would be enough. Yeah, definitely would be enough. Okay, so yellow could have just closed the game right there by taking the top field, because blue only had the 2 moves to go. Yeah, that's basically the problem for blue here. Even if he gets this and the connection, there's no way for him to win, actually. There's one way to win. Dropping a farmer right then and there, hoping to draw the road monastery with your next or your last tile. This was the move quite likely for blue. So let's check. Well, shall we give yellow the 6-point field, or in this case, the road? Let's give them the road. This seems to be more likely. So we have 7 points for yellow. So yellow would be at 79, but they'd lose the field, and the field at this point in time was at 12 points. Yeah, this looks like a clear-cut win for blue, because blue would score 9 additional points for this city, and they are at 70 plus 3 additional points for the city to the field, so that's 73. Yeah, looks like this was the move. So blue had to drop this one, but that's not all. They had to dodge both the straight and the cow, as both would have been able to kill the monastery connection immediately. This does the same. And then draw the monastery right afterwards. Yeah, so basically it's 1 in 5 as yellow needs to draw the curve. Then you need to draw the monastery. That's a 1 in 4. Then yellow can draw whatever they want, except for the Dorito, of course. So let me start again. We need yellow to draw the curve. Then we need to draw the monastery. Then yellow may draw either straight or cow, and then we need to draw the Dorito. So that's 1 in 5 times 1 in 4 times 2/3 times 1/2. Basically 1 in 60, right? 5 4 is 20 times 3 is 60, and 2 are canceling each other out. Yeah, so this here would have been a 1 in 60 chance. Wow. Wow. Yeah. If you want to go for it, sure. If this is your only chance, okay. And frankly, it looks like it, because blue only has the 2 moves and there's no way out. They need the Dorito. Yeah, so this here looks to me like it was way more likely to be successful. The other option could have been dropping a farmer here, hoping to draw the Dorito and claim with the monastery, but that doesn't work. That's or it might actually. Come on. I'm deep down in the rabbit hole, so why not go for this as well? So in this case, we need yellow to draw the cow, because with the curve they would kill the option, with the straight they would counter. And with the Dorito, of course, they kill all our hopes anyway. So what do we need to draw then? Well, quite likely the road monastery. And it's for yellow to draw these 2. And we need this one. Yeah, it doesn't really work, because yellow claims the points over here and still has the meeple in hand to claim a road later on for the win. Yep, so bottom line, Leuschi should have gone for this protection. Quite likely might have even needed to use to meeple the cap just to prevent yellow from scoring the 4 points there. Yeah, in the end, tough loss is tough loss. And I'm out here. Thanks if there's still anyone there. Hope to see you soon. I think tomorrow even. Stefanakis Nari, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this should be the next stream. Quite likely won't go for 71 knives, nice dicer, although it could fit in my schedule actually. Well, we'll see. Spontaneous stream or not. Subscribe. And thanks for watching. I see you. Bye bye.